These protesters are loud calls to action that aren't going away. About 75 protesters rallied this morning outside a Fraternal Order of Police building honoring Juneteenth while demanding systematic changes to address racism and inequality. Focus investigative reporter Paula Vazan has the details.
Some of the big messages coming out of that rally: more transparency for one, from both police and elected officials. And protesters also want a reallocation of police department funds with a focus on mental health.
Timothy Finley, a pastor at Kingdom Fellowship Christian Life Center in Louisville, led the peaceful gathering. The group started outside Wilt Elementary School, walking about half a mile to the Fraternal Order of Police building on Price Lane Road, where they taped flyers on the doors outlining their demands. They want police department dollars taken away from weaponry and put into training officers. They want police to be more transparent about how they're held accountable when excessive violence is used. In response to the termination of Officer Brett Hinkison, one of the officers involved in the death of Breonna Taylor, Finley calls it progress.
There's much more that needs to happen. It's a great first baby step, but that means absolutely nothing if you have a culture of violence in the LMPD.
Coming up at 6, we'll bring you interviews from other protesters at that rally and their decision to form a coalition to address what they call structural inequality. For Focus, I'm Paula Vazan.